what a beautiful performance by the offense. 44 points. That's with 2 drop touchdowns. Everything that I kind of talked about last week that the offense had improved upon. Sorry if my mic's too loud. That the offense had improved upon. It came to fruition today, right? The proof was kind of in the metrics last week, and now everything kind of came together at a perfect time, and the rest is history. 44 points, back up the Brinks truck, like I said, for Dana Holgorsen. But it was just a absolutely, beautifully executed performance. Defense, man, secondary needs a lot of help. But I'm not going to try to focus too much on the negatives right now. Nebraska's bowl eligible. Chance at 8 wins still on the table with the bowl game, and then Iowa next week. Iowa ran the ball 58 times today, by the way. So I don't know if that's necessarily a recipe for success against Nebraska, but this Wisconsin team, it was a toss-up game in terms of the point spread, and turns out that Nebraska was able to kind of finally find their footing on offense. Holgorsen simplified everything. The execution was great. Talked about last week, the offensive line had their best pass block grade since Northern Iowa in week 2. Actually, that was their second best grade of the season. So, albeit against a Power 5 opponent, and Nebraska had more points against a Power 5 opponent in the first half than they have any game under Matt Rule in terms of points scored in a full game. They had that in the first half. Just unbelievable. And better late than never, right? What a call by, Matt Rule to, understand that Satterfield wasn't working. He wasn't right for the job, and he goes and makes a move. He was aggressive. He didn't wait around. He went and made a move. He didn't just get rid of the OC. He went and got a new one. He went and got his guy that he wanted to, and he knew that he would simplify this thing and make this offense much better. You could see the reads. You could see the calmness in Dylan Raiola's feet. And it was honestly just giving him opportunities to execute and giving him routes to check down to. That's what we've been missing all season, just giving him opportunities to not just have 1 read, 2 reads, and then he's done, or just have 30 deep routes down the field, an opportunity to have checkdowns, an opportunity to have options to go to if the play's not there. And it's crazy just how much success you can have when you take what the defense gives you. And that's simply what Nebraska did. It wasn't crazy in terms of, creative. It didn't have to be. It just needed to be simple, and it needed to be efficient. And that's what it was today. Again, a couple drop touchdowns. This could have been 50, but just an overall excellent performance. And we got to feel fired up as a fan base. And we're feeling probably a lot better about that Iowa game next week as well. So just an awesome performance by this team altogether. But yeah, let me get into some of your comments as you get in here. Again, like I said, as people pile in here, we're going to go for as long as y'all are with me in the comments. So we're celebrating tonight, boys. Did we finally get the missing piece? Dana's so much better for calling plays. We finally got a complete game from our offense. That is the biggest thing. 4 quarters. We got 4 quarters of football today, and that is something we haven't seen all season. UTEP, didn't see that against UTEP. Northern Iowa, looks spotty against even them. But to do this, and I understand it's Wisconsin, but do this against a Power 5 team, man, and just come out and have one of our best performances 2 weeks ago in the season just gives a shot in the arm to this team. And you got to hope Michael Terry and guys like that are watching this game, because, this is huge in terms of recruiting too, in terms of the portal for people to see that Nebraska has an offense going into next season. Would have been a little bit harder coming out of year 2 with still having offensive problems, even with Raiola, to go after, a high-level guy in the portal, or to recruit a high-level guy like a Michael Terry who wants what's best for his career. And again, he loves the way that Nebraska is going to utilize him in the offense. Hopefully Holgorsen has the same plan for him. But just awesome all around. Congrats on getting the first win. Hey, I appreciate that, Jackson. Thank you for hopping in here, brother. I appreciate you. Finally won that damn rivalry trophy, right? After, 1 in 12, was it? Or is it once in the last 12 years? Let's go, baby. What a day. Absolutely, Gregory. Like I said, I don't remember the last time I've been this happy on a Saturday. It feels foreign to me. Felt a little foreign to me to be happy in the middle of the game. But I was feeling pretty good about this game, because finally we had a offense that can pick our defense up. And I don't remember the last time really that we've seen our offense come in and close the game out. I don't remember the last time. This is the first time in a long time where you come down the field and you put it away with a touchdown with your offense and, pick the defense up for what the defense lacked. I mean, they just explosive plays have been an issue with this team. The secondary has been an issue all season, especially at the safety spot. A lot of people put that on Bly Hill. I don't think that was on Bly Hill. That was definitely on the safeties for not having his back deep. So longest 10 years of life is finally over. That's right, Husker D. And as y'all pop in here, if you don't mind hitting the like button so more people can hop in here. Like I said, as more people we got, the longer we're going to go. So as a USC fan, happy to see the Huskers win. Bowl eligible, go Greg fight. Hey, appreciate you, Dale. USC fans, man, have been pretty dope all season. They've been cool. Even last week, man, they were pretty cool. Haven't had an issue with USC fans at all. So appreciate that a ton, Dale. Let's sack Iowa. Man, I'm telling you, Iowa looks one dimensional. And if the downfall for Nebraska this year has been explosive plays, how is Iowa going to come out and manufacture explosive plays without their ability to throw the ball? I think it was 58 runs that they had in this game this week. So unbelievable. They're going to come out with that game plan. It really favors Nebraska, in my opinion, because they're going to have to be balanced. Nebraska was finally balanced today. Emmett Johnson. I've been saying Emmett Johnson's name for 2 years now. Preseason of last year, I did a preview video of the running back position, and I called out Emmett Johnson's name because he was getting this is the last season, because he was getting half the first team reps in Matt Rule's first offseason. And so it only made sense that, and Dowdle, I get Dowdle, but he's just that big physical bruising back, right? But Emmett Johnson, we saw what he is capable of today. Like I said, he can make people miss in a phone booth. And one of the biggest things about this offense, Holgorsen with those wider splits, like I talked about, getting them to the second level and letting him get past that second level so he can go in and operate in that second and third level. And that's where you can kind of chop up your feet a little bit. Once you get through the mud of that initial front, that's when you start to really kind of operate in there. So one of the few people that supported Satterfield, boy, was I wrong. Hey, Gregory, it's okay, man. I've been wrong plenty of times before. This is one of those instances where we're happy to be wrong. So it's a good reason to be wrong. Breathe, Husker fans, get some air in those lungs, breathe deep knee pins. That's what I'm saying. Like, and even still late in that game, it felt kind of like, there was a lot of people were feeling, kind of like it was potential that Wisconsin could get back in the game. I didn't really feel that, just because I think we're used to that with a conservative offense, with a Satterfield style of offense, where it's just, you're not putting the game away. You're just trying to play not to lose and protect the lead, instead of going out and just putting your foot on their throat. And Holgorsen, came out that last drive aggressive, was throwing, and he was determined to put that game away. He wasn't going to allow them to get back in it, because that's when things go wrong. When you allow the opposing team to get back in the game and climb in and get some confidence, especially when you're rolling that much, that's when the doubt starts to seek in the players' minds too. You start to feel that, that tightness coming in. But Raiola looked calm in the pocket, man. His feet were calm and relaxed. He was just poised and making throws. And that has a lot to do with the simplification of the offense and him just getting time. I talked about it before. Raiola's problem wasn't in his ability. Raiola's problem was he was taking too many hits, and he was seeing ghosts back there. And you could tell by the way he was operating. He was jumping. He was jumping in the pocket. And we didn't see that today. I don't know what Holgorsen told him, but I this is the different quarterback than we've seen the last few weeks, no doubt. Never mind, the cherry on top is that we don't have to pay him. Yeah, that's true. But still got to give that man some money. And you think about it, like a Ja'Cory Barney, right? Look at what Dana Holgorsen did with Tank Dell at Houston, right? Oh, I'm sorry, I got a super chat in here. RJ, appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Super chats are on. I appreciate any contribution, even so much as a like of you. Thank y'all so much. But I really, really appreciate the super chats, man. Hogan needs a haircut and a money bag. I saw that picture. It looked like he got kind of struck by lightning there but hey, I say let that man grow his hair out as long as he wants. I don't care what he looks like, as long as he keeps his offense rolling. But RJ, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. I really appreciate you. Yeah, and then I was talking about you look at the type of guys that Dana Holgorsen has developed before. Tank Dell. over at Houston. He's playing in the Texans. I'm a Texans fan, but playing over the Texans now. But Tank Dell, 160. Really undersized guy, but he getting him in space. And you saw a little bit of that today where we're getting these speedsters in space. And that's what this offense has been missing. I talked about it last week. The middle of the field was the area that had the most improvement, and the short middle of the field, 12 for 12 last week against USC at 9.3 yards per attempt, 12 for 12. Against UCLA under Satterfield, we were 4 for 6. I think it was 4 for 6 at about 3.3 yards per attempt. That's a huge, huge disparity. That average depth of target being a little bit, further through the air and allowing these guys to operate in more space. I think that's the biggest thing, is not trying to get it all through the air. That I think Satterfield had it in his mind too much that he's just trying to get it all through the air and not allowing his playmakers to just play in space. And it's as simple as that. Like I said, Holgorsen's not doing anything crazy. He's just simplifying everything. That improves execution. If you're having execution problems, stop what you're doing, make it more simple. Perimeter blocking. We finally have some perimeter blocking, and it's crazy that it was probably in them this entire time, but Holgorsen called it out. He called them out on it, and clearly whatever they've been working on in practice has worked, because on that touchdown where Dowdell early in the game, Jamal Banks had a key block. Like, he was the blocker that sealed that out. The offensive line, a great block there too, but without Jamal Banks, that hole's not that open, and that might be a stop short. So beautiful to see that. Jamal Banks had some uncharacteristic drops, but again, that's fine. We cleaned up the areas which have been the biggest problems for us this entire season. So disagree. RJ Holt needs to keep rocking Cumberland. Wonder how many tackles broke today. 15, 20. Yeah, the tackling was brutal today. And safeties just been giving up explosive plays. That's what Nebraska's been giving up this season. A lot of explosive plays through the air, and a lot of times the common denominators, the safeties, Luke Gifford being one of the main culprit in a lot of those. Just a little bit out of position, a little bit out of space. He steps down too early, or he'll get fooled by an underneath route where they're trying to bring him down, and he just gets his eyes lost a lot back there. So, broke by Emmett. I thought you were talking about our defense. I can't. Yeah, that would be an interesting stat, because I'll be able to get that stat for you whenever they post those numbers. The tackles broken there, because I'm interested to see that. Did Emmett get the 100? Let me see here. I'm not sure if he fully went 100, because I know he was at about over 100 yards rushing and was about 38 receiving. So Emmett Johnson, 113, 16 carries for 113, 7.1 yards per carry. Crazy. And then he had 6 catches for 85 yards at 14.2 average. Unbelievable. Just an unbelievable game by him. And I feel like we've been talking about him all season. Just let him eat. Let him go out there and work. And again, the running back rotation had no rhyme or reason for this entire season. And now you finally let a running back get the hot hand and get rolling and keep them going. And look what happens. From now on, honestly, Emmett Johnson should, without a doubt, get the majority of the touches and only come out of the game when it's maybe short yardage situations, or somebody needs to take a breather, or Emmett needs to take a breather. Do you think the wider line splits has opened? Without question, without a doubt. And it's nice that we're seeing a little bit of a blend. It's not always wide splits, but they're mixing it up. They're not giving away the run. It's just it's interesting to see how he's kind of married his style of offense to a little bit of what Satterfield was doing and what this team was doing in their current offensive playbook. And that, to me, is a sign of a good offensive coordinator. If you can come in and just kind of, in a short amount of time, marry your style to the style that was already kind of in place. And with those two, Satterfield being a big huddle guy, big formation, 2 tight end sets, that type of vibe. And an air raid guy is able to come in and really give a shot in the arm, but also continue to keep things simplified with what the players knew and what they were doing all season with Satterfield. That has a lot to do with this as well. And that's what I said, the sign of a great offensive coordinator there. Johnson and Dowdle will be the 1-2 punch next week and next season without question. 15 receiving yards short, very close. I shed a tear. Man, I was about to, honestly, like I was, my heart rate was up for a good reason. I was finally feeling good. I'm just like, man, it's nice to be excited for a Saturday for real. And it's nice to, I was optimistic coming into the game. I tweeted before the game. I said I have a really good feeling about this offense today based on what we saw last week. And I'm glad it showed up on the field. But that was one of the things, you always know that's there. Nebraska shows promise, but the inconsistencies always rear their ugly head. But something about this offense and what I saw on the field last week made me feel really good about this team, even though we lost last week. But just looking at the film and what happened, couldn't help but feel good about this game this week. So happy for the win. Seniors look good, except Gifford. He sucked. Bullock, had a big stop there on those 3rd and 4th downs. John Bullock getting in there on senior day. IGC coming in and dropping the ball. He had his senior day opportunity, but yeah, that didn't go very well. But yes, seniors, but also the young guys look good, man. Keona Davis, Vincent Shavers. Oh my God, Bly Hill came out there at least in the second half, and Bly Hill didn't play a bad game. Again, that I don't think that was his fault getting beat deep there at all. The one play that he misplayed was that one kind of on that 2-point conversion immediately after that. That was the one where he kind of got a little bit beat on that out route and man coverage. But he hasn't been playing all season, so he's going to need some reps to get going. Falling like a bloodhound, D. You ain't alone, brother. Game ball, Emmett. Wow, he should have got them TDs. Honestly, bro, I was like, reward him, especially when he got down on that one long play where he got tackled about the 4-yard line. I was like, just give it to him, reward him with that touchdown. O-line played awesome, yes, and Janiron Bonner with a big block, with that Harburg first touchdown from the Wildcat. Janiron Bonner sprung that open and gave him an opportunity to go and score that game. The red zone play calling was excellent. And you saw us getting aggressive there, throwing the ball deep on, that the one nair where he got his, his foot kind of slightly out of bounds, but it was a beautiful ball by Dylan. And then the Jamal Banks one at the back of the end zone. Throwing there, that's a part of the field we would have got down to. And I feel like we would have just started trying to run up the middle 1st and 2nd down, and then trying to pass on 3rd in an obvious passing situation and not being able to get anywhere. I mean, sometimes it's just that simple. The sequencing of the plays, there was no rhyme or reason for what we were doing before. It made no sense. There was no offensive game plan. It was just kind of like, we're going to call some plays randomly that we think might work. It was like somebody playing Madden for the first time. Raiola is definitely slinging it quick, looks so much better. Calm feet equal calm mind. Glenn Thomas said that when he was brought on, and it's all in the feet. And today he looked like a statue in the pocket. And when he has time to throw the ball, so what I've been telling the detractors all season who have been calling for Heinrich Haarberg, I'm like, no, Raiola is your quarterback of the future. Let him play through his mistakes. Let him play through this. That is how you get better as a quarterback. You don't get benched and get better as a quarterback. You got to play through these things, and you'll get better. And we've seen that now, that what he's capable of, and it's really not his limitations that have been holding this offense back at all. Confused why Gifford is still getting reps. We're really short in secondary. That's why. Really, really short. Dylan just looked like his blood pressure was 15 psi lower, that calm, composed, instinctual movement in the pocket. And that with bowl eligibility on the line and a big game against Wisconsin, 2 games left in the season, all the pressure and the home game, senior day and all that. And he just comes out and puts that performance together. Just shows that he has ice water in his veins. And I don't think Raiola loses confidence for a while. Like, I feel like as soon as he got in a rhythm today, and I feel like this is carried over from last week. I feel like he felt a little rhythm last week, and I feel like this was just a carryover of that. And he came out ripping from the jump. We're all tuning in for volleyball, right? It would be nice to have a double Wisconsin win off of the Creighton basketball win last night. So I'm an option fan, so I was worried about the hurry up offense, but this looks good. Got to have tempo at times, man, especially if you want to wear down a defense. You got to get tempo. And you saw a couple times where we were snapping the ball. Wisconsin was not set on defense. And that is where that speed them up rhythm plays. But I feel like we were using it at the right time, huddling at the right time, and really making it work very well. So Yeah, baby, go Big Red. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Welcome in. I appreciate everybody who's in here so far, man. If y'all don't mind dropping a like, man, like I said, it really, really helps me out, and it'll help more people get in here as well, so we can keep this baby rolling. Maybe we see some option or a bowl game against Navy. Hey, I do not want to see us play Navy. No, I was in the Navy. I can't have that matchup. All right, I'm a huge Army Navy fan. Smash Mouth football. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, don't wish a bowl game against Navy on me. All right. Johnson should have been primary running back all season, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I'm Navy. My brother's Army. Hate week is a family favorite. Let's go Navy. I was thinking about ordering a jersey earlier. Navy killed it in the uniform department this year over Army. Our off season just got more interesting. You know, it's nice to have be able to go into an off season, with some optimism. And like I said, this is so important, not only for the 14 extra practices that we get for the bowl games, but just getting over the bowl game hump, first off. Secondly, recruiting. Like I said in the beginning, Michael Terry, we're in a battle with Texas for Michael Terry. And that race seems 50-50 right now. So anything that Nebraska can do offensively to give these players a good sign that they're going to be able to operate and do well in this offense and not be held back by it, that's meaningful. That is meaningful, and it's going to help us a ton. More practices. Yeah, exactly. No hate yet, though. Kudos to Army. Yeah, exactly. First time we won the season when the other team has scored more than twice. It's crazy. Game was over by halftime. You see the energy on both sides of the ball. It sure felt that way. It seemed like Wisconsin kind of quit. That Wisconsin in that game kind of felt like Nebraska did in the second half of the Indiana game, where it was just kind of, Nebraska had their backs against the wall the whole game. It just seemed like they were demoralized by halftime and kind of just let their foot off the gas.